Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles! Resolve. In the last episode, we had Mr. Shamspear speak a little alongside with his buddy Meter Man, and well, they swayed the jury towards a guilty verdict. And now we are here for the summation examination and are trying to convince the jurors that they are wrong. So let's just get into it. The jurors' contentions.
The victim may not be well off, but he's a noble man, and straight up, there's no reason to doubt the man.
Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid.
Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache. Very fishy.
There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman. For now, at least.
Oh, I really don't care, just need this trial to end quickly.
3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know. Nothing at all.
Aha, interesting. I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced.
It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamspear is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen.
If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by this strange theatrical movement.
And sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all.
Well, here goes. Let's not forget. I've pleaded with the jury on Soseki-san's behalf before the work, so you never know.
Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how a summation examination works, Mr. Naruto.
Oh,
well, you're still very new to British law after all.
that's true, I suppose. And Soseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands now, too. There's always a chance I might have forgotten some crucial details. Perhaps I should hear Susato-san out. I wonder, should I let her talk me through it again, or not bother? Well, if you're new to this Let's Play, maybe you just want to check out the other playlist, because there everything is already sketched out. Actually, I do want all the dialogue, but refreshing my memory would just waste time, so there is no need for that, because I know how things work out. So let's just go into it, no need. Thank you for the kind offer, Mr. Sato, but I've been through plenty of these summation examinations already now. Oh, that is true, we had quite some. I think it's important that we don't delay the start any longer than necessary.
Of course, I understand, and I'm quite sure you're right. If you're confused by anything at any point, you can turn to me for advice whenever you like. I'll be here for you.
Oh, that's so kind, Susato-san. The key to this is really listening carefully to each juror's statement, finding two that are contradictory, and pitting the corresponding jurors against each other. Without further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Yes, my lord. All right, let's get going. The defense's rebuttal. Yeah. The victim may not be well off, but he's an old man straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man. Okay, let's press this guy. Well, there are plenty of people in London who seem noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars?
I've no doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example.
Absolutely not. Mr. Natsume is no liar.
Look, the point is, the only thing that passed the victim's lips that night was the Japanese man's teeth. When you take the gas man's testimony into account as well, the truth couldn't be any clearer.
Well, that's alarmingly logical.
But let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. If it turns out that the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all, I'd gladly change my decision about the defendant. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen on the jury would do the same. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, perhaps. Though I don't see it happening. What's that? Elderly gent on the end here, you know. You'll have to speak up.
Look, I really don't care about this nonsense. Just need this trial to be over.
How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury then? Alright, sir. I may hold you to that. Don't forget what you said. Alright, so what about you?
Hold it!
Are you saying you believe the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid?
No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim here. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid.
So you say, yet again.
Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously. It's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all.
Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so much.
Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese. Stoops all the while and he has a mustache. Very fishy.
Hold it!
No. Not one of those things is a reason to find the man guilty.
But he's fishy. There's no point dancing around the fact. He's Japanese, he has a mustache, and he stoops. You see, you arrive at the conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps, like a waltz, in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance.
You seem to be several steps ahead of yourself, though. And you're on the wrong foot. No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt.
But the victim's version of events is backed up by what the big-chinned man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh, that's another 3 steps. All this really does seem more and more like a waltz, doesn't it?
Right, and the prosecution will waltz its way to victory if I let you speak much more.
There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman, for now at least.
Hold it!
A fraudsman? What do you mean by that, madam?
It really is a most tiresome problem for the company, most irritating. We can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence. We can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued.
I'm sorry, you've lost me a little there.
Who are you? I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Gas Company.
Good gracious, Altamont Gas, you say?
Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure our employee from the East End branch office would be the first to agree.
Absolutely, Lady Quimby. Gotta be used properly. Ultimate gas is the best in the world, of course.
I think we may have solved the mystery of the bar from earlier, Mr. Naruto.
Right, he bowed in the deference to his employer's wife, did he? So would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Shamsby was up to in his room?
I'm afraid there's no end to the lengths of the population of the Eastern will go to in order to steal our gas. So I really have no choice when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudsman, but to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night. We're very thorough in our investigations.
So you mean Mr. Shamsby is...
I wouldn't come out and say it in public, but you can furnish the sentence with a grumpy little gas thief.
You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you?
The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. Faith, wouldst thou wound me with thy words, where I let them penetrate the skin. But seraphs hear not insults, only choirs of angels in song. We may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around you until they find it. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in an ultimate gas explosion.
So Mr. Shamsby has been stealing gas. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement.
My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping that thief apart you enjoyed?
A little before that part about abject violence, if it's not too much trouble.
Yes, of course.
This could be it. This could shift the balance.
the victim puts on a fine performance, but in reality is a common thief of my company's gas. I'm gonna press that again because it's new information. That's a bold claim. How can you be so sure? It's really very simple. Noble lady of gas, I pray thee, hold thy tongue. I beg your pardon? Hath that rank-adored air that doth our darkness illuminate any place in this assembly? Nay, 'tis of sole importance here that someone would distinguish the light of my own life. Verily, I never call stealing thy gas, but pray let the matter rest till anon. Why, you little...
Begging your pardon, milady, but I might suggest you don't say any more at this stage. We need hard evidence first. If I keep secretly watching this bloke, I'll get him in the end. He'll slip up.
Do you think maybe that secret's out of the bag? Oh, this is so frustrating.
Alright. Oh, I really don't care. I just let the trial to end quickly. Hold it!
You keep talking about needing to take home some money. What's that all about, sir?
Finishing last. Finish last? That's what it's about.
What's that?
I'm talking about the derby at Hyde Park, aren't I? It was in the Queen's Cup last week, wasn't I?
Derby?
It was a dead set. That's the thing. I couldn't lose, so I took my last secret Sandy's life. But then, that hopeless old man went and did the unthinkable. Oh, that stupid finished last.
Oh dear, I think it's clear what happened, isn't it?
This is the day the missus uses her savings for a trip down the pub. So come on, let the business lie now. Just give it up.
No, that's not going to happen.
3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know? Nothing at all.
Hold it!
What do you really mean by that, sir?
Well, I'm not one to boast, but I get up at 5 every morning, I do.
At 5? You're a really early riser then, aren't you?
What's that now?
I said you're an early riser.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I like to while away the hours in the evening reading books as well. But by about 2 in the morning, I'm usually too tired to go on.
He sleeps at 2 in the morning and gets up at 5? Oh my, that means he only has 3 hours of sleep each night.
What's that, dear?
Only 3 hours of sleep each night.
That's right. You see, 3 hours of missing time, like I said. It's not much, is it?
This really isn't helping. The key to summation examination is identifying contradictions between jurors' statements, Mr. Naruto. Right, and once I've found 2 jurors whose statement can't coexist, I need to pit those jurors against each other. Then hopefully, when they see what they're saying doesn't make sense, they change their leaning. Yes, and if you're able to change the minds of the majority of the jurors, the trial will continue. But conversely, if you're unable to do that, the judge will declare the trial over and move to adjudication. And I can't let that happen. Somehow or other, I have to turn this trial around. Alright, so she says he's splendid. And he says, if you can show me that the victim's a liar, I'll reconsider my position. She says he has no reason to lie. In fact, he's a rather splendid. Oops, no, she is the one that we're supposed to pit against someone else. He's Japanese, has a mustache, very fishy. So I don't really know who to... It's not this one, it's not this one, so we are supposed to pit this lady. But against who? So she says he's a thief. But he says he's a liar. So we don't know yet. I think he's rather splendid. And he says... I think that these two are supposed to be pitted against each other.
Objection!
Okay, I was wrong. Those two statements are fundamentally at odds with one another.
Hold it.
My lord, as a foreman of the jury, I must object.
What?
Being the leader, it is my duty to stand up for all the jurors here present, and stand up for them I will.
I concur with the foreman counsel. I warn you. I shan't abide any pettifoggery.
Until you've got your facts straight, keep your pointy fingers to yourself.
I thought I did. We're trying to find inconsistencies in juror statements, Mr. Naruhodo. The key to it is comparing the different things they say before attempting to pit them against one another. Alright, I'll have another go. Okay, so it's this lady then.
Hold it!
Oops, no, we're gonna, okay, we had this already, so we're just gonna skip that. I'm sorry. Not only did I mess up, I also misclicked, which is a huge problem, but... So we're gonna pit this lady against her then. Although I think that because he is a thief, I think that it should be this one, but apparently it's this. Oh, it's not. Okay. Okay, I lost 2 stars there. That's a little bit of a problem though. Alright, so we're gonna pit these two against each other? No, that is a little bit of a... No, that was unfair, I think. Because it could have been the other statements too. Whatever. Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious! Those... To whose statements do you refer, counsel? Juror number 1.
What are you yelling about, lad?
I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement, made by the wife of the owner of Ultimate Gas. Well,
Yes.
the victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact, turns out to be a common thief.
So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much.
It's true, we don't have evidence as such, just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know. What? You heard me, seeing as his operation has already been compromised. I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employee over there.
All or whatever you say, my lady. Gasman's honor.
Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Shamspeare was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decisions about the defendant's guilt.
Yes, I did say that. And as a man of honor, I'll hold to it. As I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will.
Me? Oh, well, yes. Now that we've found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further.
Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying. So if the Maggio recap a few points, that would suit me down to the ground.
Oh no, I'm not having any part of this. I want this trial over and done with.
In that case, I shall change my leaning.
So, Mr. William Shamspeare, if that is your real name, we of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of a man you really are.
I'm still worried about the 2 lives we lost. That's 4 jurors, 4 not guilty. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Victory! Order, order! Well, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense's summation examination, the jury's leaning has changed. Now only 2 jurors say guilty, whilst 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord, and order the trial to continue. You have spoiled the bouquet, Mr. Shamspeare. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find they are
trust you, the victim.
But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So God amend me, I do swear. This gasman speaketh that which concerns him most. Naught but gas, naught but thin air. Aye, it burneth bright a while, but it hath no substance, and it doth reek foul.
Oi, what did you say?
Do I take it, Mr. Shamspeare, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery?
Most heartily, my lord, as thou forgot. I am as a seraph, an angel, noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart.
Oh, you flowery mouth, pompous beanpole, just cause I haven't got the evidence yet.
Mr. Shamspeare, if in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom.
It is my considered opinion that at the present time no other possible culprit of this crime has been identified.
All testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case.
Oh no!
However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further.
Objection!
I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas and this case are unrelated.
Juror number 4.
Yes?
Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him?
That's right, we do. Don't we, worker?
Absolutely, Lady Quimby. Gasman's honour.
Very well then, we will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare, has been stealing gas.
Yes, my lord. It'll be my pleasure. On the ultimate gas name, I swear.
If I may, my lord.
Go ahead, madam.
This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind.
Woohoo! Oh yeah, sweetest honey! Yeah!
Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request.
Thank you, my lord.
You wait till the boss gives you an earful! Oh, it's gonna sting, you mark my words!
So, you will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Ultimate Gas Company's fuel.
Yes. Is that clear, my good man?
Clear as ultimate gas, my lady! Which is the clearest in the world!
Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Mr. Sato?
I think the man's just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo.
Witness testimony. Alright, here we go. The Ultimate Gas Company's investigation.
I'm proud to be the company's East Band branch investigator meter money collection agent. Ultimate gas meters accept threepenny bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas.
And yet, the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key.
Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not thieving, what is?
Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn my hollow jealous.
What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zeeks?
Did the mustachioed Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor? Or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court. And yet now we must listen to this abhorrence. Clearly what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance.
But this could turn out to be crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead.
Do what you will.
Lord Van Zeeks appears to be in a violent mood.
Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incidence of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance. But I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. And the first step in uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is. The Ultimate Gas Company's investigation, but I'm really sorry guys, we almost not yet have reached the half-hour mark, but we are quite close. And this is going to take some time, so I'm gonna call it quits for this episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles Resolve. If you wanna see how we are going to unfold things here, you'll have to tune in next time. See you there.